Making a quick intro, Phil Monteleone, the book peddler, book picker, and book daddy. So I'm about to go on a quick book pick. Not really a quick one. I went on one yesterday. This thing was loaded. I had to unload it all today. That particular pick has about 15,000 titles in it that I'll be continuously going through. So really great stuff. And now I'm heading to another book pick, opposite direction, a couple hours away. And this is the next day. Looks like a beautiful estate and very clean material. So I got to get in, see what's going on, and try to haul back another load. And then we'll continue, with the video. Mostly a lot of the first pick was, there's Klan material, there's Nazi, communism, a lot of political activist pamphlets, a lot of racial type of material. Really cool stuff. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. And let's hit the road for pick number 2, and we'll get on with it. All right, like, subscribe, do all them things. We'll see you. This is a super beautiful place out here. Check out the view of the lake. Look at that. How far that lake goes is so gorgeous. Upstate New York is so beautiful. I'm in the Cooperstown area. All right, the shop is a complete mess, but I'm going to show you the box sets I got. Just on the last pick there. The second one, Jane Austen. Nice Folio Society set. Dr. Zhivago. Joyce, Conrad. Nice box set of Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire. Here's a token, The Hobbit. 50 years, all these are being listed. Here's some more. Barbara Tuchman. Now I'm going to try to do the Cooperstown Book Fair this year, so I thought a couple of these publications would be good over there. This is a 1930s, The True Story of Baseball. So that would be good. Of course, they got the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. And I believe this artist here, Janet Monroe, is an artist from Cooperstown. So I was going to bring this there. And then some history of Cooperstown. Let me take you to title. Whoops. A Centennial Offering, being a brief history of Cooperstown, 1886. And guess what? Signed by the author. So that was really cool. And I think, if I decide to do the book show, if I'm going to be around, these two would be really good for it. That's pretty cool, huh? And this is the same exact title. There's about 2 more boxes of material related to Cooperstown, but I'm not going to show you that kind of material on this video because I don't believe it would hold much interest to the general viewer out there. But I will show you some of the sites at the end of this video if you care to stick around, of Cooperstown. Just a couple quick ones that I videotaped. Right now, though, I'm going to show you some material from the first pick. And before I do, this is non-book related. These are actually VHS tapes, and I'm going to show you the title here. Check out the Swamp Puppy. Got that boy in. Thank you, Carlos, for selling it to me. Faces of Death. Original, all sealed, box set. This, to me, when I was younger, this was like the internet days when it was kind of the Wild West, and some of this stuff was fake, and some of it showed, real pictures of like some pretty gnarly death scenes of people getting like smashed by trains and, crazy stuff like that. But that's actually a pretty scarce set, and it's all new sealed. It's amazing. And I'll show you these ones. Now, again, this stuff is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, but it is physical media. I do sell it. But this box set of the Little Rascals. Then I have more Little Rascals here. They're all sealed. Some Wizard of Oz. Charlie Chaplin. And this is mostly kind of experimental. Some of it's worth some cash. Everything is worth something. And like here, sealed sets, baseball, Civil War, Scarface, Fritz the Cat. Some of you might know about Fritz. CIA secret files, excuse me. Declassified the FBI spy files. Again, you know, I found a Beatles one. Let me see what else. Alfred Hitchcock. You know, some people, I don't know how they collect VHS. Maybe some of them would, the occult in the Third Reich, just like it on their shelves. Maybe some people have VHS players. Again, I'm starting up a small physical media store with records, CDs, DVDs, and these will go in there as well, for the most part. So the first thing I'm going to show you on this pick are all like political activist publications, Black Communism, Democratic Party material like this. I don't have my little microscope, so I'm just going to hold the phone over them and move them in so that you guys can just see the titles, okay? And here we go. I'm just going to do this like this. Here's some Black Power, nationalism. I will be taking time to go through these. Values definitely vary. This is probably one of the largest collections I've ever come across on material like this. The individual identified as a Trotskyite was a professor at Berkeley. Black tie, that looks like a good one. Race, heredity, and civilization. You know, anytime human progress and the race problem. Anytime you have stuff like this, you got to just scoop it up. Some of these are period publications from the 60s. Actually, all of them, like our World Youth for a German Peace Treaty. Very cool. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to move quick. Che Guevara. I had to look at him again. Somebody told me I look like the guy. I don't think so. McCarthyism, regroupment. So you can see just tons and tons. Let's see a couple more. Root and branch. What a collection of material, huh? And I actually think a lot of this kind of material is going to actually gain traction in the years to come in terms of value for multiple reasons. But tons of it. Some are duplicates. Okay. So you can go to my site, Book Peddler Phil. You'll see some of this stuff going up. There is some stuff currently that's being listed. I try to list daily material. So yeah, this is nuts. I'll take you to the books in a minute. Ooh, check out this one. The Coming American Revolution. So there are people that obviously they just specialize in this kind of material. I don't. I'm pretty much a generalist, trying to be more of an antiquarian. But all right, I think we've seen enough for the time being. Some of these are scarcer than others, and they will be priced accordingly. So let's take you to the books now. Okay, and one more pamphlet, Revolution in Mississippi, special report by Tom Hayden. Really cool. Right, let's get into a first batch here. Klan, white supremacists, maybe sprinkled in some Nazi stuff in here too. Hooded Americanism, first century of the KKK. Ex-library book, but still a good book to list. Every Knee Shall Bow, the truth and tragedy of Ruby Ridge and the Randy Weaver family. This incident occurred in Idaho. For those unfamiliar, the federal government murdered Randy Weaver's wife and child. He actually ended up winning a very large settlement. And it was after the Ruby Ridge and the Waco event that you see an uprising of a lot of militia groups in this country. based on, the federal government's involvement in those tragedies. Terror in the Night, the Klan's campaign against the Jews. By the way, one of the funniest skits I've ever seen is Dave Chappelle, the black white supremacist skit. It's hilarious if you ever want to laugh. He's a blind black white supremacist. All right, Portrait of a Racist. Blowback, America's recruitment of Nazis and its effects on the Cold War. The Yahoos. So the League. Race and Reason, a Yankee View. Encyclopedia of White Power. The Klan Unmasked. Communism, Enemy of All Freedoms. Timothy McVeigh. There's a couple books on McVeigh. Let's see, The Fascist Revival, the inside story of the John Birch Society. So if, in case you guys missed it, the previous pick I had, or that I shown, was from a couple prominent members of the Birch Society. And, John Birch Society, as I stated, as American as apple pie, pro-Constitution, Bill of Rights, anti-UN, anti-foreign entanglements, anti-big government. But this was written in the 60s, and a lot of leftist groups, collectivist groups viewed them as being fascist. Today, people throw that word around so liberally, whether it's fascist, Nazi, is that they're really losing the definition of what those words even mean. They're debasing them. Klan Watch. It's also what it's doing is stifling any type of dialogue to be had amongst differences of opinion. Very unfortunate. So if you ever get the chance, look up where political correctness comes from as well. Old Nazis, the New Right, and the Republican Party. All political correctness does. The Racist Mind, Portraits of American Neo-Nazis and Klansmen. All political correctness ends up doing is controlling speech and controlling your thoughts. And everybody walks on eggshells today, except a very loud minority that feels like everybody needs to know their opinion. Women of the Klan, not very healthy. Doesn't really spur dialogue. Someday, actually, I will do a video. Hold on. So in the future, I think it would make for a really good video to explore different controversial material and selling controversial material. I've had a lot of people actually in the past ask me to do a video on it. So whether it's white supremacists, Black Americana, Nazism, I think it would be beneficial to do so. The current state of affairs when it comes to this kind of material can make some people uncomfortable. And what always amazes me is that these are like grown adults that will walk past my cabinet, say a controversy, say, oh, you should burn that. We shut your mouth to keep it moving because no one gives a damn about what you think. I mean, if it's affecting your sensibilities that bad, then maybe you shouldn't be in my shop. Maybe you need some professional help, to be quite honest with you. These kind of topics, it's historical, it's reactionary, it's, different philosophies. My shop is filled with ideas. It's filled with history. And though tearing down a statue or burning a book does not erase it. Anyhow, that'll be a video for another day. But for now, I'm going to get back to some of these books. You can stay in tune for it, but don't hold me to it because I'm very busy lately. So let's get to these ones here. So we have Mein Kampf, of course, a book that I've had trouble selling before online. I made a video about it in the past. Let Them Call Me Rebel, Saul Alinsky. So Saul Alinsky wrote the book Rules for Radicals, kind of a type of a blueprint in a way for infiltrating different community organizations and taking them over from the inside out to have influence. Hillary Clinton used to write Alinsky letters. I believe, I don't know if he was a mentor or if she looked up to him, but I believe she even wrote her dissertation paper on Alinsky. But very kind of agitated person. or created a lot of agitation. And he has like 10 rules in that book, how to kind of, again, subvert and take over. All right, let's get back to Assad. Okay, the Sphinx of Damascus. Let's see. Very sad situation going on over there in Syria. Great War. Street Fighter in the Courtroom. Let's see, what's this? Kazam, A Life, Aliyah. Or, I'm sorry, hold on. Aliyah Kazan, baby. All right, nice clean book. Let's see, I got to even this out. The Tremendum, A Theological Interpretation of the Holocaust by Arthur Cohen. Okay, The Protocols of Zion. Anytime you see this book, scoop it up. Even if it's a little warped, people are going to want to read it. Some say it's a forgery that happened in Russia. Some believe it's legitimate. It's world domination and the steps to get there, but all based around Jewish conspiracy and warrant for genocide. Okay, so this is a book that's disputing the Protocols of Zion. Let's see what else. Definitely a very varied material. Maverick, 50 years of reporting. Oh, the unfinished story of Alger Hiss. Alger Hiss, I believe at one point was, he was a prominent figure in the UN. During McCarthy's era, he was basically pointed out as being a communist sympathizer. That did come out as being correct. He was a member of the Communist Party. I think the Venona Papers really expose a lot of the communists that were in this country. If I'm not mistaken, they're called the Venona Papers. I think it's like 20,000 pages of documentation coming from Russia, I believe. All right, we're going to keep going. Dulles, Alan Dulles. Ooh, not a fan. Not a fan of old Dulles. Let's see what else. Some of this stuff is a bit beaten here. Fifth Amendment. Yalta to disarmament. Let's see. The shelter hoax. Well, like always, I can never show you guys everything, but I do the best I can. There's his on American Activities. Found a lot of pamphlets on the American Activities Committee. Who killed Joe McCarthy. Boy, they really slander that guy. I believe he was a World War II pilot gunner. And unfortunately, I think that all of the stress of, I think he had very good intentions. And he became a alcoholic. And I think he died because of it. But in college, they continuously talk about McCarthyism. But like I said, eventually it came out that a lot of people that he was actually identifying as being communists and infiltrating the State Department was indeed true. All right, let's keep going. Elva Bessie, that looks, Inquisition in Eden, that looks like an interesting one. Yeah, very cool. Bernstein had that. So this is a lot of McCarthy era material mostly. Very cool. When Congress investigates. All right, let's get to more boxes. Here's another box. Foreign Policy, Monthly Review Publications, Capitalism, Nature, Socialism. This individual has so much material. Check out this one. Secret Agenda, Project Paperclip by Linda Hunt. This is a really popular title. Project Paperclip was after World War II. For those of you unfamiliar, a lot of Nazi scientists, and they were kind of split up. The Soviets took a lot of them, and the American government took a lot of them. In here we go. Flip through this. This in first edition, first print is worth some good money. And check out this book. This is a trial, the Belsen trial. War crime trials. I'd love to find more of these books. Pretty incredible. And there's a list. There's actually a list here of people that were being trialed. Here's the accused. Oops, hold on, guys. There's the accused. Some book filled with photos, different information. Pretty graphic. check out these publications. These are like cinema ones. Some of them are pretty worn out. Not all of them. Let me take a stack here. You can see the different content. Really cool. Magazine on the art and politics of cinema. A whole box of them. Let's see these ones. Very, very cool. Let's keep it moving. Okay, here we go. Here's a big grouping of Nazi Germany. Go like this. German Social Democratic Party. Great clean books. It's funny, like nationalism has gotten a bad connotation to it anymore from political commentators in the mainstream. But remember, there was a little thing tied into it. It was National Socialism. There you go. Not strictly nationalism. The Hunt for Martin Bormann. Awesome, awesome stuff. So I got to work through these. Some of this stuff will be going to the Red Building. Education in the Third Reich. That looks like an interesting... I actually had a chance to buy a children's Third Reich book years ago, and I passed on it. All right. Oh, I found more pamphlets and publications. Let's go through them. Freedom of speech. There's McCarthyism. Just flip through these quick. Abolition. Dissenting opinions. Un-American activities committees. I have a lot of stuff on that. Very, very cool. The truth about the film Operation Abolition. All right. All right, let's check out this book. You guys are getting first eyes on it with me. Lenin, a biography. Pretty common, 30 days. Let's do it like this. Tons of Hitler here. Path to Power. This guy has a extensive library. Tons, all sorts of different topics. Let's see what this one is. Sword and Swastika. Now, there's a book out there. I saw Hitler practice black magic or something. The Occult in the Third Reich. Which is, I wonder if I'll find that in this collection. Very scarce publication. I've always tried to keep my eyes open for that. Idealism debased. French fascism. Let's see what else we got. History, Religion, Anti-Semitism, Last Days of Hitler. Life and Death of Adolf. Crucifixion of the Jews, Economic Origins of Anti-Semitism. So there's a lot of anti-Zionism publication, a lot of Judaic history and political. Whoop. The Burning Bush. Whoops. Don't worry, no book is being hurt in this process trying to get through it. Riddle of the Reich. So there are a ton. Oh, I've sold that before. Psychopathic God. So there is just a ton of World War II. This is specifically mostly on Hitler, the Third Reich, the nemesis of power, German political army. All right, let's take... There's another box under this, but I'm going to move you to another because I really got to start processing and getting back to work. Tons of Trotsky. Trotsky's History of the Russian Revolution. Again, when it comes to Nazi Germany, Soviet Russia, even Mao's China, if you look into the work, Bolsheviks, if you look into the work of Professor Anthony Sutton, I always recommend it to go along with these topics if you're studying them. He really follows the paper trails, and he shows that a lot of Western industry, British banking, American banking, heavily financed and backed these different regimes, which may seem a bit contradictory to official narratives. But the more you look into it, I think the more you come to understand as to motivations as to why they would, which is for you to figure out on your own if you have interest. Oh, check out all these. Like, why would Western powers back governments supposedly not compatible with Western ideology? So Anthony Sutton does a great breakdown in his books. There's like, what is it? The Bolsheviks and Wall Street is one title. But look at all these great publications. Awesome, filled. There's a lot of JFK in here. I'll show you one more JFK. What's this? The Mood of the Nation. Oh, this is on Oswald. I'll show you another really cool publication I just dug up here. Where is it? Default Judgment. Questions, Answers, and Reflections on the Crime of the Century. The Assassination of John F. Kennedy. Limited first edition. Really cool. Let's see what he highlighted in here. You might find Ben-Gurion, Israel, telling James Angleton at the CIA in Washington, whether directly or indirectly, of course, JFK is not only a threat to Israel, but he's also going to splinter the CIA into a million pieces and cast it to the wind. He's going to wreck your plans to get deeper into Vietnam. Kind of neat stuff. So this one's pretty highlighted. I'm going to put that aside and look at it. Here's another stack I separated. These are going into the red building. Another stack. Ordinary Men. This is supposed to be an excellent book. These ones are some Jewish ones. I'm going to read that book. Check out these art ones. These go hand in hand. I actually thought that they would be much more value than what I've been able to find. But amazing photography in here and pictures. The one to the right of me is a supplement. So very cool. There's always so much. I only have so much time and I can't show you everything. So go to Book Peddler Phil, the eBay site. Some of this stuff will be going up. All right, so I hope you enjoyed these books. I'm going to show you some of the sites in Cooperstown. I'd like to go back this summer. There's so many beautiful places in New York, and I only ever have so much time to visit places. You know, usually it comes about when I'm on a book pick, and I mean, I love what I do. I love hunting for books and getting able to see beautiful parts of this state and parts of this country. But I'm always kind of limited because when I get the material, I got to get it processed, get it listed, get selling, get on the phone with people. And then there's always another follow-up pick. So, you know, it's a lot, but it is incredibly fun. And I hope you enjoyed the content. Let's take you over and show you some of the sights and scenes of Cooperstown. Here's the Fenimore Art Museum. It's closed, so maybe I'll come back another day to this one. Check out this. Let's see if I can zoom out. Ain't that beautiful? Let's see what this is. Oh, the Cardiff Giant. Great American Hoax dug up in Cardiff, New York. Now at the Farmers Museum. Yeah, this is the Farmers Museum. I think this is closed too. probably housed in there or something.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn right on Chestnut Street.
Very cool. And there's the lake. Cooperstown is a beautiful area. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'll show you this hotel up here. Maybe I should have had it zoomed all the way in. See the other side? Alright, then we'll go pan back. Cooperstown's a beautiful area. Actually, I'm going to show you a hotel up here. I gotta watch my speed. This is also the home of Will Money Books. I'm not a tour guide. I pretend to be one sometimes, but when I go to other bookstores. But anyhow, maybe if I had a camera crew. But I'm going to show you this hotel up here, the Ogasagwa, whatever it's called. Hold on. And actually, my sister got married here. It is gorgeous. Check this out. And it used
in 1,000 feet, turn right.
It used to be a boarding school for girls. Ain't that beautiful? I'm supposed to turn right somewhere. Wow, gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Fuck you, bitch. I'm gonna pull in. This is beautiful. I remember I pulled up in my little Ford Honda, and you know they park the cars
in
for
400
you. It's
feet.
Hilarious.
Turn left on Lake Street.
I was like, be careful on
right.
the turns, boys. Yeah, this is the Ogasagwa, beautiful hotel.
Then
all
turn
right,
right
that's all
on
I
Chestnut
got for you for our little tour here. Okay, of Cooperstown Baseball Hall of Fame is here. Wonderful, wonderful town. There's some good money in Cooperstown too. So good place to have a bookstore if you can afford the real estate. Anyhow, all right, guys, it was fun hanging with you. I gotta head home and start, you know, going through all these books. Try to make my money back here. So hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. On to the next. We'll see you.